Just wait a second. And just wait for a little bit. And it's a Saturday night, and it's not a busy time, but important things to discuss, right? Dirty shit talk. Poo-poos. How to do a good poo-poo, right? This is good knowledge. This is good knowledge. I figured out how, not just for me, how the human body, how we all do good poos, and what's going on with constipation and irritable bowel syndrome, but mainly constipation, because with me, I've noticed that up until this point, I haven't been doing great poos, and I know how to do great poos now. We got the science, confirmation of science, how to great poo, how to get those poos going, but without even eating what we should be eating, which is 100% fruit. So, with fruit, Troy, mate, with fruit, we can obviously have good bowel function. But even then, here's the key. So you're eating crap, you're eating too much, or whatever. You do not want constipation, right? So work with people where they are at. Now, I don't believe in coincidences. I made this in another video. This time last year, I was in Florida, and I was noticing I was doing really great poos, like massive ones, compared to my normal. They were fucking huge. And I remembered that time, and I've wondered since, this whole year, it's in my back of my mind, why I've been doing great poos. And literally 1 year later, I've done it again. But the reason why, I understand now. This is important, okay? So, the thing with proper bowel movements, you can do many things. You can get the diet properly. You can drink lots of water, distilled water, brilliant. You can eat fruits, brilliant. But all these things, trust me, are secondary to what your body actually needs. I'm going to tell you now what is the most important thing for bowel movement. Bar none. Bar none. And it's not even the right food. And it's not even water. Lots of water. And it's not even enemas. This is actually it. This is free. This is what we were designed to be doing. And this is the secret. The secret is this. Sunlight. Before you call me a kook, hear me out. I'll explain why. Sunlight on your gut. Sunlight exposure, even under cloud cover. I've gone over this a million times. Even under cloud cover, sunlight still works. Still fucking works. I'm doing it in the UK under cloud cover. Sunlight exposure to your gut. Directly, your gut, where your large intestines is and your bowels is, that's what you need. That is the answer beyond diet, beyond drinking lots of water, beyond enemas to good bowel movements. Trust me. Now, there's science behind why I'm saying this, because I've just got to nudism again. I've been off the boil with nudism, come back to it, and I've been noticing again why my poos have gone up. Oh, then I thought maybe it's the sunlight. Then I thought, okay, maybe it's beyond the sunlight in the nudism. I knew it was something to do with the nudism. Some part of nudism, the sunlight was making my poos great. I was just using my brain and thinking, okay, so maybe it's the sunlight specifically over the gut. So I was thinking, maybe it's the sunlight, the infrared sunlight, the long wavelengths that penetrate deeper. The short wavelengths like UVB, UVA, and visible light of blue, purple aren't very long. They don't penetrate that deep. So in my mind, I was thinking it must be the infrared, the longer waves that are penetrating deep enough, if you directly from my stomach, when I expose my belly to the sun that's making it. Kind of right, kind of wrong. And then I thought serotonin, which has got nothing to do with that, and I was thinking serotonin and fasting, and then I was thinking of something unrelated. I was thinking, this is random, it's not a coincidence, all these connecting dots. I was thinking, okay, so we know that serotonin, 90-95% of serotonin is from the gut, is made in the gut, not the brain. Most of the serotonin you make we know this. And I was thinking that unrelated, and my mind was just going fucking crazy. Then I remembered, oh, okay, I'm doing a book on sunlight. Oh, I need to put in the book on sunlight. Serotonin is amplified in sunlight, right? Everybody knows this. We all know this. One of the reasons why we feel good in sunlight is because of serotonin. Serotonin release. Well, they say that, but what they don't say is that nudism gives you more serotonin. Right, try and follow me here as I go through this. Sunlight gives you more serotonin release because I believe, and this is actually a fact, serotonin is released by a factor of, there is serotonin receptors and pathways on your skin, all over your skin, all over your body. Your body has ability, it's proven by science, on the surface of your skin, your body has pathways for serotonin, so as soon as the sunlight hits the skin, serotonin is activated and it gets released into the bloodstream wherever it needs to go. So with nudism, you get more serotonin, and that's one of many factors why sunlight is good, because you just, nudism is sunlight and nudism. Sunlight's good because, say it's just your face, you're kind of getting extra serotonin, serotonin from the skin and the face and the eyes is getting into the blood. But with nudism, it's even more. The more skin you expose, the better you feel. So serotonin is huge on that. So, with that being said, most of the serotonin is made in the gut. Why would the body... So I did a research today, based on observations from today and yesterday, why is serotonin made mostly in the gut? And then I connected the dots. And then I found out that the reason why serotonin, 95% of your serotonin, 97, not in the brain, 95 is made in your gut, is because serotonin in the gut has a special reason to be there. It controls the main reason why serotonin is made in the gut. It's not to make you happy, by the way. Serotonin that goes to the brain is to make you happy. I believe serotonin in the gut's for a different reason. And the research I've done so far that other smarter people than me have connected the dots on is this. Serotonin, it helps, its main primary factor, it's a signaling molecule that it's designed to make your bowel movements better. It's designed to aid peristalsis. That in the gut, that's why the gut makes so much of it. In the mucus lining. It goes into the mucus lining, and as a signaling molecule, it tells the gut and the bowels to start pushing out the shit and relieving constipation and getting majorly awesome poos and getting up your frequency of poos. That's the job, not to be happy. That's the one in the brain. The 95% is in the gut, which will only be activated when you allow sunlight specifically over the area of your gut. It has to be, because I've only started doing like these amazing shits since I exposed my gut to the sun. I've always had my face in the sun whilst I've been doing grounding, but now back on the nudism, I've exposed my chest and my gut. And therefore, I concluded that the sunlight is hitting the gut and the serotonin molecules in the gut and pushing it into the bloodstream, and it's activating it. And you can look at this yourself if you don't believe me. Go ahead and Google serotonin gut constipation or serotonin gut and peristalsis. And what you'll find is not a reams of literature, because it's not like that. Google doesn't work like that. I don't want to give you the answers easily. What you'll find is that serotonin in the gut, its main primary function is to get the bowels moving properly. And then, boom, connect the dots. That's it. That's how you do things better than enema to clear out your bowels. Well, enemas work great. Better than fruits, which also work great. Serotonin, and better than water, and all these kind of tricks and things. We were designed, serotonin in the gut is produced in huge amounts, 90 to 95%, not for happiness, for this reason and this reason alone, to get the bowels moving properly. Therefore, if you want to help somebody and to help yourself, now you know this information and you can share with other people. This is an awesome bit of information. Number one way to remove constipation for someone that's suffering. Enemas are great, fruits are great, all good stuff, grounding great, all great. Number one, most important and powerful, is exposure of the belly to the sun, even the cloud cover. Now, the longer you do it, the better. Today, I'm about an hour outside. Also some inside, but the light's not as effective inside with the window open. I think it's only 30-40 minutes. You can test around. I don't want to get into too much specifics because it's different for everybody. But that's the key. Get as much of your chest. Think about it. Society is constipated. And yes, they're eating the wrong foods, but the way that they can still move the bowels properly and have great shits, even with the wrong diet. And the reason why they're not is because they're never exposing their chest and their gut to the sunlight. That is the key. Absolute key. You have to expose the gut and the belly. That beer belly. The people that eat too many pizzas and shit and have constipation, those fat asses, they're not exposing the gut and the belly to the sun. If they did, they'd have great bowel movements, and then it would expel all that shit and not have so much body weight of feces and intoxication, auto-intoxication, and all kinds of problems. That is the key. And I think that's fucking profound, because I feel like I figured this out myself, because I ain't seen nobody fucking talking about it, and I'm telling you, this is the #1 factor. I know this for a fact. I've done it last year. I've done it 2 days in a row now, 2 fucking awesome shits, and I'm going to keep doing it, because I know what I'm speaking is true. And also there's science to back me up. It's not even me and my wild theory. There's people way smarter than me, I've seen on Google, that have fucking studied the synthesis of serotonin in the gut and all the mechanisms behind why, and the 7 receptors to serotonin in the gut. Did you know that? There's some 7 receptors. Why is there so many? Because serotonin is key in the gut, and it's not for happiness. Not primarily, anyway. I'm not saying there's other things. The main reason we make serotonin in the gut, to repeat, is for prime, optimal bowel movements. Fact. Don't believe me? Go and try it out for yourself. If you're already getting nudism, you get your chest out in the sunlight, go and do some more. Or, if you already do that, don't do nudism and don't expose your chest one day to the sun, and then see how your bowel movements work. Because I'm telling you, that's the #1 key. I know this for a fact now. Great information. And I hope you guys are listening and fucking loving this one, because that is key. This is a lifesaver for people that are constipated. Absolute lifesaver, this information, yeah? Absolute. I'll quickly run through the comments, but I won't spend too long. I've done. Yep, sunlight, grounding, breathing, all amazing for the gut and bowel movements and all these healthy things. But I'm telling you, the #1, the absolute #1, the absolute one priority that nature designed us for great bowel movements is serotonin. And the way to activate serotonin is to get your gut exposed, your belly exposed to the light as it was designed to. Forget about all the other reasons for sunlight and nudism and the power of infrared light technology, which is fucking something I'm studying a lot as well. There's so many things going on, but I'm telling you, it's serotonin that's ending up. It's a serotonin deficiency in the gut that's causing constipation in people. Let's put it like that. Okay, this is a fact. Serotonin deficiency in the gut. And I say in the gut because when you expose your eyes to sunlight, which everybody does, I guess, when they go outside, they don't get enough of it. I think the serotonin in the brain doesn't get too deficient in people. This is my opinion. Although it kind of could, you could argue it does. But serotonin in the brain is for happiness. It's different. It's not for the one for the gut. Now, the real thing with constipation people is they're not making enough of the serotonin in the gut. And the reason why is because the only way to activate it, in my opinion, because I've done all other things and I didn't have great shits like I had now. I was doing grounding, I was doing fasting, I was doing 1 meal a day, I was doing all these other kind of things and not having great shits. And the one missing thing that made the great shits was serotonin in my gut being activated by sunlight exposure to that area. And that's what I know is a fact. Alright? Yeah, I can't help doing the live streams, Annie. Thank you, Lisa, mate. I appreciate that. And James. Could do if you want, but so. You want to roll, James? You can if you want to, bro. So we're going to do a too wild off topic and see what you think of what I said. Yeah. Alright, stand by. Let's see if I can get you on. I'm not sure if this is going to work. If you go, no, it didn't work. Right, so that's it. To repeat, very simply, how to remove constipation, have a great shit. The most important thing, because we all know the basics of health and we're all working towards other angles. Now explore what I've just said and test it for yourself to prove what I'm saying is right, and also do some Google work if you don't believe me to back up. You'll be excited, just excited as me, when we're talking about increasing bowel frequency and quality and size and of shits and constipation and getting rid of that toxic 10 pounds of garbage that average people have in our gut. That's pretty exciting information. So test it out. Go and expose your chest and your front. If you're doing it already, optimize that. If you're doing it already, don't, and see if you get constipated. Start noticing these things. you're going to see that what I'm saying is true. Go and Google serotonin, gut and constipation, serotonin, gut and irritable bowel syndrome. The research has already been done, but it's just not in any mainstream articles. It's just little in the internet. It's just what weird people are writing about things that are too complicated, and you look at signaling one, you get confused. You've got to like try and synthesize all the knowledge. You know, there's a lot of, it's too complicated, but I'm telling you the simple breakdown of it. It's just simply this: serotonin is a signaling molecule that is predominantly made in the gut for a reason. It's predominantly made in the gut, not for your happiness. It's predominantly made in the gut to get stuck in the gut lining, because there's nerve signals there, and once it gets stuck by design in the gut lining, which is meant to be, then it helps aid peristalsis movements. It's essential. Serotonin is the absolute fucking key to good bowel movements. There is no other thing that is more powerful than serotonin for activating. I'm telling you now, that's a fact. That is a fucking fact. Yeah, I tried, James, man, but unfortunately it didn't go. So, that's it. Now you know, sunlight on the gut is the key to good bowel movements. I mean, there's so many other things going on, but that's it. Go and try it out. And if you're already doing nudism and that shit, try doing the opposite. Go ahead and cover yourself up and see if you have great bowel movements. You're going to see that what I've experienced is not just me because I'm one human body and everyone's different. No. What I'm saying is for everybody. Yeah, everyone has a different human body, but when it comes to science and some of this shit, like serotonin and all this stuff, it's the same. So this is it. Constipation is a lack of serotonin from your gut. You're not making enough serotonin from your gut, of which most of serotonin should be in the gut anyway, right? On that note, peace. Thank you guys for watching. I appreciate it. Let's keep spreading knowledge and love and get excited about the shit we're learning. Right? Let's do some great poos. Leave you on that note. Let's keep doing some great poos and spreading great knowledge.